My name is Sandra Hemme. I'm 64 years old now. I got out of prison in July. That was 2024. I spent 43 years inside. I went in when I was 20. I'm speaking now because the record is finally clear, and because I have a little time left to say what happened. This is what happened. I was born in 1960, grew up in Missouri. By the time I was 12, something was wrong with me. I heard things, saw things that weren't there. They put me in hospitals, more than once. They gave me electroshock therapy. That's what they did back then. I cut myself. I couldn't stop. The doctors wrote it down: chronic mental illness, suicidal ideations, self-mutilation. I was in and out of institutions my whole teenage years. By November 1980, I was 20 years old. I'd been using amphetamines, trying to feel normal, or trying to feel nothing. I checked myself into the hospital on November 7th, St. Joseph State Hospital. They discharged me against medical advice on November 12th. It was morning, around 1 in the afternoon. I came back 2 days later, left again, came back again on November 25th. That's when the police came. A woman had been killed, Patricia Jeschke, a librarian. She was found dead in her apartment on November 13th, beaten, stabbed, strangled. The newspapers ran it on the front page. They printed photographs of the crime scene. They described everything. I don't remember much from those days. I was hearing voices. I was sedated most of the time. On November 28th, a detective named Stephen Fueston came to the psychiatric hospital. He showed me a photograph of Patricia Jeschke. I was on medication. I don't know what I said. He came back on December 1st. I told him something about a man and a woman in a blue car. He wrote in his report that my statement was not consistent with other witness statements and reports. I gave another statement on December 2nd. I said a man named Joseph Wobski killed her. I said I watched. On December 3rd, Detective Fueston took me out of the hospital and brought me to the crime scene. I don't remember leading him anywhere. He wrote that I said I knew about it because of ESP. He showed me photographs, the body, the pantyhose, the bedroom, the wire. At the police station, I gave a written statement. I said I watched Wobski kill her. I gave another statement on December 5th. This time I said I cut the wire for him. They arrested me. They arrested Wobski, too. Then they found out Wobski was locked in a detox facility the night Patricia Jeschke died. He couldn't have been there. They let him go on December 10th. That same day, 2 other detectives questioned me, Mike Herter and Terry Boyer. This time I said I killed her, acting alone. I said she picked me up in a small brown car. I said I strangled her with pantyhose. They charged me with capital murder, what I didn't know then. On December 8th, police learned that Patricia Jeschke's credit card had been used the day after she died. A black man with a badge tried to use it at a camera store in Kansas City. On December 19th, a clerk identified the man. His name was Michael Holman. He was a police officer with the St. Joseph Police Department. Officer Holman said he found Patricia Jeschke's purse in a ditch near her apartment on the day she was killed. He said he threw the purse away but kept the credit card. He said he'd been at a motel across the street having sex with a woman he called Mary. The motel manager didn't recognize him. There was no entry in the hotel registry. Police searched Officer Holman's house. They found 2 jewelry boxes his wife had never seen. Patricia Jeschke's father came to the station. He identified a pair of earrings, wishbone-shaped. He'd bought them for his daughter in Montana. They were in Officer Holman's house. The investigation into Officer Holman stopped. On June 8, 1981, Officer Holman pled guilty to insurance fraud. The prosecution agreed not to prosecute him for any other criminal matters now under investigation. I didn't know any of this. I pled guilty in April 1981. The judge didn't want to accept it at first. He said I hadn't given enough testimony to satisfy the charge. After a recess, I tried again. I said I didn't realize I'd done it until I read about it in the newspaper. The judge sentenced me to life in prison. I was 21 years old. Later, I tried to withdraw the plea. A new attorney said my first lawyer never investigated my mental illness, never asked if I was competent to stand trial. The appeals court agreed. They ordered a new trial. The trial happened in June 1985. It lasted 1 day. The only evidence against me was my statements, the ones I gave while I was sedated in the psychiatric hospital. There was no forensic evidence, no witnesses, no motive. The prosecution told the jury about Officer Holman's hair being found at the scene, but said it could have come from another officer. They said nobody knew how Holman got Patricia Jeschke's credit card. They said my confession was the truth. The jury convicted me on June 5, 1985. Life in prison. No possibility of parole for 50 years. I was 25. I stayed in prison. My mental illness wasn't treated, or it was treated poorly. I had incidents with guards. I was convicted of 2 offenses inside. The years went by. Around 2006, I started a new medication. It worked. For the first time in my life, my mind cleared. I started writing letters. I contacted the Innocence Project. They wanted to test DNA, but the evidence had been destroyed. It took years. In February 2023, I filed a petition. By then, I'd been inside for 42 years. My lawyers found reports the prosecution never gave to my defense. The FBI had tested a palm print on the antenna wire. I was eliminated. Patricia Jeschke was eliminated. Officer Holman could not be eliminated. The FBI tested fingerprints on a magazine the police said I took from the apartment. 71 prints matched me. None matched Patricia Jeschke. The FBI compared the hair from the crime scene to the first responding officer. He was excluded. Officer Holman was not excluded. None of this was given to my lawyers at trial. In January 2024, there was a hearing. Experts testified about false confessions. They said mine had all the signs. A psychiatrist testified about my condition in 1980. She said that in the hours before my first interview with Detective Fueston, I'd been given an injection of Haldol. That's an antipsychotic. I was placed in leather restraints. I was given chloral hydrate, a sedative so powerful they don't use it anymore. I was in psychiatric crisis. I was in physical pain from drug reactions. The psychiatrist said I didn't trust my own memory. My thoughts were malleable. She said I was coerced by my mental and physical condition. On June 14, 2024, Judge Ryan Horseman granted my petition. He said the state had failed to turn over critical evidence. He said I was the victim of a manifest injustice. The Missouri Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, tried to block my release. The courts rejected his efforts. On July 19, 2024, I walked out of Chillicothe Correctional Center. I was 64 years old. I had been inside for 43 years, 1 month and 14 days. I live with my sister now in mid-Missouri. I've never lived on my own as an adult. I don't know how. I went into prison at 20. I came out at 64. I missed my parents' lives. I missed my siblings growing older. I had a young child when I went in. I don't know how to use most of the things people use now. I don't know how the world works outside. 43 years is most of an adult life. I'm not angry. I don't have time for that. On December 3, 2024, the judge signed my unconditional release. The case is dismissed. The record says I'm innocent. I'm recognized now as the longest-serving wrongfully convicted woman in U.S. history. That's what I am. I want to say this clearly. I was 20 years old. I was in a psychiatric hospital. I was sedated. I was restrained. Police questioned me 8 times over 2 weeks. I gave statements that didn't match the facts. I accused a man who was locked up at the time. I said things I'd read in the newspaper. I didn't kill Patricia Jeschke. Evidence pointing to another suspect was hidden from my defense attorneys. That suspect was a police officer. A jury convicted me anyway. I served 43 years. No forensic evidence connected me to the crime. No witness saw me there. I had no motive. The only thing connecting me to Patricia Jeschke's death was words I said while I was medicated and didn't trust my own mind. I'm 64 now. Most people my age have had careers, families, homes. They've made choices. I lived in a cell. I don't know how many years I have left. Not many. I got out, but I can't get back what's gone. 43 years can't be returned. I'm not here to make a point or teach a lesson. I'm here because this happened. It happened to me. It's documented. The courts have confirmed it. A 20-year-old woman with severe mental illness, heavily medicated, gave a statement that didn't match the facts. That statement was used to convict her of murder. Evidence pointing to another suspect was suppressed. She spent 43 years in prison. She was released at 64. That's the record. I don't know what to do with freedom that arrives this late. I'm grateful I'm not still inside. I'm grateful the record is clear. But I'm 64. My adult life is gone. I can't make up for it. I can't start over. I'm just here now with what's left. I wanted to say what happened. Now I've said it.